For over 1,000 days, Bones sat in the same cold kennel, watching as dog after dog walked past him toward their forever homes. His eyes followed every family that came through, hoping, praying that maybe this time someone would see him. Not just another pit bull, not just another shelter statistic, but him, Bones. A dog who had so much love left to give if only someone would give him the chance. You know what breaks my heart the most? It's knowing that while you're watching this video right now, there are thousands of dogs just like Bones waiting in shelters across the country. Dogs who've done nothing wrong except exist in a world that's forgotten about them. If stories like this touch your soul, if you believe every dog deserves a second chance, then I need you to do something for me. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button. Not for me, but for every Bones out there who's waiting for someone to notice them. Because every subscriber means one more person who cares. Now, let me tell you what happened next, and I promise it will restore your faith in humanity. Sarah Mitchell had been volunteering at the Williamson County Regional Animal Shelter in Central Texas for nearly 5 years. She'd seen hundreds of dogs come and go, but there was one dog she could never forget. Every single time she walked past Kennel 17, those deep brown eyes would lock onto hers. Bones never barked frantically like the others. He never jumped against the gate. He simply sat there, tail wagging slowly, as if to say, "I'm still here, I'm still hoping." 3 years, 1,095 days to be exact. That's how long Bones had been waiting. The shelter staff marked the days on a calendar as a painful reminder of how the system had failed him. Bones wasn't aggressive, he wasn't sick. He was just unlucky. Born with the blocky head and muscular build that made people cross the street, labeled as a pit bull in a world that had already made up its mind. One Friday evening, Sarah stopped at Bones's kennel one last time. He pressed his nose through the bars, and she felt his warm breath on her hand. "You're coming home with me this weekend," she whispered. The shelter director looked up from her desk, eyes immediately welling up. "Really?" she asked. "Really," Sarah confirmed. "He's waited long enough." When Sarah opened the kennel door, Bones didn't rush out. He stood there, confused, as if he'd forgotten what freedom felt like. In the parking lot, when he saw her car, something shifted in his eyes. Recognition. Hope. He jumped in carefully, settled into the back seat, and let out the deepest sigh she'd ever heard. It was the sound of relief. That first weekend was a revelation. Sarah's backyard looked completely different through Bones's eyes. He approached the grass slowly, sniffed it like it was precious, then rolled on his back with all 4 paws in the air. Her own dog, Charlie, bounded over to investigate, but Bones simply bowed, tail wagging, in the universal language of "wanna be friends?" Within minutes, they were racing around the yard like they'd known each other forever. Hey, I just noticed something. You're already halfway through Bones' story, and I'm checking right now, you still haven't subscribed. That honestly breaks my heart a little, because if this story is touching you, imagine how many other people need to hear it. Every single subscriber helps us reach more viewers and change more lives. Don't just be a passerby, be part of his legacy. Hit subscribe right now, because what happens next is even more powerful. Inside the house, Bones explored every corner with quiet curiosity. He didn't jump on furniture or beg for food. He simply wanted to be near her. When Sarah sat on the couch, Bones rested his massive head on her lap and closed his eyes. "You're safe now," she whispered. "For this weekend, you're home." But that first night revealed something heartbreaking. After dinner, Sarah opened the back door to let Bones out. The sun had set and the yard was dark except for a porch light. Bones approached the doorway, then stopped dead, his body tensed. Sarah realized what was happening. Bones hadn't been outside after dark in 3 years. The shelter closed at sunset every day. He'd forgotten what nighttime looked like. "It's okay, buddy," she said softly, stepping outside first. It took 10 minutes of gentle encouragement before Bones finally stepped into the evening air. When he did, he looked up at the stars, and Sarah swears she saw wonder in his eyes. The backstory made it worse. Bones had been seized by animal control after nipping a neighbor. But here's what most people don't know. Bones and his sister had been living with no fence, no structure, no training. They roamed the neighborhood frightened and confused. One moment of fear, and his entire life was taken away. At the shelter, though, Bones never showed aggression, not once. The staff adored him. The shelter director stopped at his kennel every morning, and Bones would do this little tap dance with his front paws whenever he saw her. Every weekend after that first one, Sarah returned for Bones, and every time his reaction was the same. The moment he heard her voice in the shelter hallway, his whole body shook with excitement. He'd recognize her car before she even parked. They explored hiking trails where Bones would stop and smell every tree like he was making up for lost time. They visited dog-friendly patios where strangers would ask his name and Sarah would proudly say, "This is Bones." Sunday evenings were torture. Every time Sarah pulled back into the shelter parking lot, Bones would sense what was coming. His ears would droop, his tail would stop wagging. As she walked him back to Kennel 17, he'd look back at her with eyes that asked, "Why can't I stay?" Sarah would kneel down, hold his face in her hands, and whisper the same promise. "Someone's coming for you. I know it. These weekends are preparing you for your real family." And she believed it, because Bones wasn't broken. He was a dog who had been failed by humans, but still chose to love them. He remembered what kindness felt like and cherished every moment of it. When his forever family finally came, Bones would give them everything: his loyalty, his gentleness, his grateful heart. Because he knew what it felt like to be invisible, and he would never take being seen for granted again.